All right, welcome back. Democrats holding on tight to some minority voters as Republicans are slowly making gains.
A recent Fox News poll shows the president's approval up 6% with the black community since he was elected.
Joining us now to talk about this is Brandon Tatum, Director of Urban Engagement at Turning Point USA and a former Tucson, Arizona police officer. Brandon, thanks so much for coming on this morning. Let's bring up a poll of African-American voter support for Donald Trump. If you look at it right now, the number of African-Americans supporting the president is at 11%, certainly not a bragging right, but it is better than in 2016 when he was at 5%. So it's probably a marginal increase, but what do you think the president is doing that is working for these black voters?
Well, it's called results. You know, it's not just rhetoric. It's not just hatred or pushing something that is not legitimate or sustainable. It's results. Record low unemployment, entrepreneurship amongst African-American people, African-American women specifically. And when you see those numbers and you see those things, I mean, you want to vote for something that gives you encouragement to move forward, not hateful rhetoric with no solutions.
So how can either party, I guess at this point, with just 5 days to go, get the support of some of the black voters out there who may still be undecided, who may not know what direction they want to go in?
I think what it comes down to is just education. You know, like Turning Point USA, we do a really good job at educating across the board. Our summit just last weekend, 400 black leaders around the country had a great opportunity to hear from the president and be encouraged by good, solid information. And they're going to go back to their respective communities and they're going to spread the word. And that's going to be the most effective way to do things. And the word is not, like, again, it's not hatred. The word is for us to be victors, for us to grow as a country, not just as African Americans, but as a country in general. With that mission, I think it's going to attract more people than if it was a divisive mission or a mission of hatred.
You know, we see a trend with elections typically when Democrats are in power. We'll see more welfare rolls. We'll see higher food stamp numbers. And when Republicans take power, you typically see better jobs. And a lot of these indicators go straight to minority voters in this country. Why do you think the Democrats have such a stronghold with minority voters, given that information?
I believe it's manipulation through emotions. I mean, emotionalism tells you, okay, point at racism, point at some of these things that make you emotionally charged, not necessarily being factual. And I think that what's happening is that people are tired of the emotional appeal that has done nothing for us for several years. It's time for us to get to factual information that's going to actually drive change. And I think the results of what President Trump has done has caused people to realize, hey, I got a job now. Hey, I don't have to be on food stamps. I can do X, Y, Z, entrepreneurship, create my own business. Those things and those results are causing people to want to go out and say, hey, I want more of what's positive about this country. And a lot of people are faithful and believe in this country. One thing about African-American people, we help build this country in history. So it belongs to us. And I think that a lot of African-Americans are excited about what is the potential for our future.
As I'm listening to you, a couple of things I was jotting down, listening to you speak, and a couple minutes ago you talked about the messaging that both parties have, you know, to do the next 5 days. You talk about racism. I'm just wondering if, because there has been so much conversation around racism the last couple months especially, do you think it's almost to the point where people are incapable of truly hearing the messaging that parties are trying to get out?
Well, not really. I think people are tired of the. Everybody understands that both sides are going to say what they have to say to probably promote their side or discourage the other side. People in general are sick of the shenanigans. We just want results, man. Somebody, you know, trying to feed their family is not worried about these accusations of racism every time we turn around. And it's not just accusations; it's overuse of the term racism or prejudice or bigotry. Everything is bigoted, so nothing is bigoted. It's pretty much what it is. So people are tired of the rhetoric and they just want results. They want to do things that they can tangibly see in their communities and what they can do for their families.
Yeah, nothing drives votes like a strong economy. Brandon Tatum, thank you so much for your time this morning. We do appreciate it.